Gothic cinema, regardless of one's level of expertise in film, probably brings a specific kind of image to mind. Dark, dilapidated houses, creaking floorboards, perhaps ghosts or a plot for murder. And this characterization is certainly not wrong, as Gothic cinema does often incorporate these motifs. Gothic literature, and later on Gothic cinema, is known for bringing difficult themes to the forefront of the story, which are most often dealing with religious trauma, death, and abuse. So, this poses a bit of a question. How could one possibly create a Gothic film intended for child audiences? I present to you a series of unfortunate events. Originally a 13-book series written by Daniel Handler, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events has been adapted for the screen twice. A movie covering the first 3 books was released in 2004, and in the late 2010s, a Netflix adaptation spanning 3 seasons brought every installment to the TV. It follows Violet, Klaus, and Sonny Baudelaire after their parents were killed in a mysterious house fire, and their attempts to escape the nefarious Count Olaf, a distant relative, after their inheritance. He's willing to do whatever it takes to obtain the Baudelaire fortune, including murder, arson, and even marrying Violet, who is not only his cousin, but also a child at 14 years old. There are several scenes in the film and show that imply the physical and sexual nature of abuse Violet and her siblings will endure under the care of Count Olaf, though it is primarily through innuendo or coupled with comedic relief to make the tense implications more age-appropriate. As stated by Elise Bolfin of the University College of Dublin, quote, "While it is currently very challenging to depict CSA directly in a work aimed at this age group, even sensitively or fleetingly, Handler's use of the classic Gothic strategy of indirection perhaps allows some voicing of what is typically treated as unspeakable." As for depictions of murder, which Count Olaf commits against several of the Baudelaire orphans' legal guardians, the implied is far more impactful than what's shown. Much like the Gothic tradition of fearing the unseen or unknown over what is tangible, death is more of a feeling of loss or an absence than a physical corpse. The scenes are not gory, but don't attempt to soften the reality of what's happened. We see the Baudelaire siblings lose their parents and then a string of guardians that were murdered by Count Olaf. Though it may seem paradoxical, the repetitive misfortune is what makes the story more digestible for children. The plot is cyclical to the point where it borders on satire, and yet, to quote Bolfin once more, "A series of unfortunate events repeatedly reminds readers and viewers that if the children's experiences seem extreme, terrible things really do happen in life, regularly and without reason." Call it bleak, but there's merit in communicating that sometimes bad things just happen to good people, and there's nothing really to be done about it. It's one of life's hardest lessons to learn. A Series of Unfortunate Events has no shortage of Gothic visual influences either. Count Olaf's mansion looks to be straight out of a Shirley Jackson novel, teetering on the edge of collapse, a mere shell of its former grandeur. Both the movie and Netflix series are littered with literary references to Gothic authors like Edgar Allan Poe, who is the namesake of the banker charged with managing the Baudelaire account. In fact, Poe's sons are mentioned to have the names Edgar and Allan. There are also references to icons of Gothic horror cinema, such as actor Lon Chaney and the fictional Caligari Carnival. The 2004 film, though it did not adapt the book where the Caligari Carnival takes place, offers its own homage to the cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Production design was headed by Rick Heinrichs of Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow and Stephen Fangmeyer on the lighting and effects, whose credits include the likes of Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, and Casper. The screen adaptation of the first 3 novels feels more theatrical than cinematic, largely due to the fact that the entire film was shot in the studio. Every large, intricately constructed set was forced perspective, and some scenes featured actual painted backdrops, harkening back to early German expressionist films, such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I want to say thank you to my mentor, Gareth Jones. His seminar on Gothic cinema was my very first film class, and I could not have had a better introductory experience to film.